Hello. So I am wearing the same thing I wore yesterday because none of my coworkers saw it. So here I am. So I want to talk about how on our level up journey, it is emphasized to us about staying classy. Classy, classy, classy. So I think this is great, but there's a fine line in staying classy and not suppressing yourself, you know. I know the level up can seem like kind of molding yourself to fit a certain type of standard that would be socially acceptable to a certain type of, I don't know, man or social people of a certain social background. So for a long time, I kind of lost myself in the level up journey because I was doing everything that everybody else was doing. I was looking up, classy photos on Pinterest and just emulating the woman from head to toe, kind of lowering my personality to be sort of like a blank slate to where I would just be easily socially digestible. But I kind of lost myself somewhere. Yeah, I kind of lost myself somewhere along the way here because I was so fixated on being accepted. And that is what the level up is about. If you are, I mean, it is kind of sort of what it's about if you are trying to move up in society or, attract a certain caliber of people and be of a certain social status. It's about, blending in blending in seamlessly with where you want to be or who you want to be with. I kind of lost myself. I was a very creative girl. I always liked to wear pearls, but I kind of lost my flavor somewhere along the way. And now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I did all that because I thought I'd be married by now, or I thought I'd be in a big mansion. And now that I'm not, I'm just looking back and I'm like, I kind of miss the creative person I was. And I wish I had a balance of wanting to embrace that more instead of shunning it completely away because I thought that's what was hindering me from meeting certain people or blending in seamlessly in certain rooms. And that just wasn't true. I didn't have to get rid of all of me. I just had to refine myself. And I want to come on here and talk to you guys because this was a mistake that I noticed. Not a mistake, but I just would do things a little bit differently when I first started the level up, because we are coming from, pretty much a certain type of ignorance. We don't know, we listened to Shira's advice and we took it literally. We took it very literally because we didn't have any sort of context to go off of. And so I was following everything to a T, but I didn't have to do that, It's just I was already I was coming from a good standpoint, middle class, just a little eccentric, a little out there girl. And all I had to do was refine myself. I didn't have to suppress myself so much. That's what I did. I kind of muted myself, like I said, to be like a blank canvas, to be more socially digestible, but that was not the answer. The answer was to refine myself and to still have my personality, but simmer it down a bit, if that makes sense. Just to embrace all the parts of me, the creative side, the crazy side, the side that gets angry, the mean side, the side that laughs for no reason, the side that wants to get up and dance and sing sometimes. I need to embrace all of that. I'm not saying I have to share that with the world, no. But I'm saying I don't have to get rid of it because that when I first started the level up journey, I was kind of ignorant to what it took to get the lifestyle you want. And suppressing yourself, getting rid of yourself, getting rid of your personality, um, getting rid of your creativity is not it. So I would say, don't stop doing the things you enjoy. I would say just refine yourself and just, kind of add layers to the depths of who you are. And what I mean by that is, so if you're like a creative person and if you are, you have a lot of personality, you don't have to show all of that to the world. You don't even have to show it to anybody if you don't want. But if you know that is you deep down inside, that's more of a gift for yourself that you can always come back to at the end of the day and honor that part about yourself and cherish that part of you. Because I used to think like, I used to see like guys with like generally like boring women, and I would be like, oh my God, like these girls are so boring. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it takes to get a high caliber man who will provide for you, is to be like boring and just let him talk the whole time. But I don't know if that's true, to be honest. So yeah, I kind of took the level up overboard. I was trying to fit myself into a box with a bow on it, as I would say. I was trying to so I don't know, I'm kind of lost when it comes to this part of the level up. It's not like we're being somebody we're not. Is that true? I don't know. But I mean, that's okay, because people, knowing you is a gift. People should, spend time with you and invest in you to get to know you. You're like a book. Can't just read the whole book at once. That would be way too much. And you can't also present the whole book at once. That would be too much for people to digest. So it's not like we're being somebody we're not. But there were moments where I didn't express myself. I chose to not say anything because I thought that was the definition of being unbothered, or I thought, some people were beneath me to even respond to. But now that I look back on it, I'm like, you know what? I should have said what was on my heart, because I'm always thinking about that moment and thinking, oh man, I should have said this and that. Why didn't I express myself? I only have so much time in this world. I should take every chance I get to speak what's on my heart, to speak what's in my heart. And, there was something that happened 2 years ago where at work, somebody was like really disrespectful to me, just blatantly. And I acted like they were just talking normally. I didn't say anything. I was like, oh my God, this person is like not even worth my time. I barely know this person. Why would I respond? And now, my ego just came out of nowhere and was like I need to handle this person. And I'm like, why? Like, why does it bother you so much? Like, what is it? Like, you don't care about that person. You don't care what they think about you. So why now? Why is my ego rearing its ugly head to address a situation that happened 2 years ago? I don't know, but my ego stepped in and was like, somebody disrespected my daughter, the person that I care about the most, and I wasn't there to stand up for her because, I don't know, I just thought it was better. I didn't think that person was worth my energy. But if I knew, my ego would be acting like this because I didn't say anything at one time because I thought I didn't want to. I didn't think it was, I didn't think it was, I don't know. I just wanted to speak as less words as possible to that person, and hopefully that would have ended the conversation soon. But now I'm like, you know what? If this is something that's bothering me like 2 years later, then I should have just addressed it. So this is what I mean about, there's a fine line between staying classy, you know, Mrs. Perfect, classy, and not suppressing yourself. You have to know who you are. You know, this level up is more than just getting a man. It's more than just taking trips, living a life of luxury. At the end of the day, when you come home to yourself, you have to know yourself. And you know what is the amazing thing about being a woman is that we shed skin. We're like a snake with different layers of skin that we can shed to bring forth new energy. We literally shed, our womb sheds. That's like the same as a snake shedding its skin. We shed from the inside out. And I am so good at this. Like, a lot of women, they hold on to the old parts of them and they kind of suffer. They don't, because we naturally shed. We're supposed to change. We're supposed to evolve. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to build upon what we were. But, you know, we can get very creative with this, because I can say I killed off the old me. I killed her. You know, I killed off my old self while preserving who I was at the same time. So the level up came out, and it, you know, Shira was saying, you know, if you do this, this, and this, you ratchet. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. So I'm like, okay, oh my God, like, why was I like that? I got to get rid of anything that is pertaining to those behaviors. So I was like, okay, kill it, start anew, bring forth new energy. Okay, this is who I am now. So, you know, I've met a lot of women who, when I say I killed myself off, I didn't actually kill myself. You know, I'm always, you know, I still held on to who I was at my core. And I think that is a big reason for my struggle, but it's also a reason for my liberation. Let's get into it. Is this on? Okay, it is on. Okay, so I remember meeting a lot of women in the city where I'm from and befriending a lot of women. And you know, when we're little girls, we're so playful, we're so rambunctious, we run around dancing, whatever. And I still have that energy within me, that fun, playful, vibrant energy. I still have that. I really value that in me. And I kind of feel like I won the adult lottery, because sure, I may not have a husband or a house or a kid or a whole lot of money, but I do have my inner essence, my being, who I started with in this world. And I notice when I interact with women, like, they're not, like, some women are not as like playful. It's almost like a part of them died somewhere along the way of getting hurt or betrayed. And I see women online when I'm talking in like different Facebook groups. I see women say like, oh my God, I will never be the same after this, and this happened. I vowed to, you know, I'll never be that girl again. And I'm like, wow, like, what do you mean? Like nothing, no matter what happens to you, like, nothing in this world is worth you losing a part of your soul over. And when I say a part of your soul, I mean like that fun, vibrant, like the inner girl, the inner child, the little girl who used to, you know, laugh and play and run around. Like, I don't care what happens to me, I'm still not letting go of my essence, my soul, my inner child, like we are together. And when I say I killed myself off, I didn't kill myself off. Obviously, I'm still very much here, but I just killed off certain parts of myself. I didn't kill all of myself. And like I said, that's the great thing about women. You know, we can shed who we don't want to be completely. That's within our power. We can shed blood. We can shed old blood, kill it off, let it go. And a lot of women have chosen to let that little girl go. They say, okay, this isn't beneficial in this adult world to have this inner child, to be connected to this inner child. She's getting in the way of logical reasoning. She's getting my heart broken. She's acting off of emotion. I get it. It's really hard because little girls are crazy. They don't know. They listen to their heart too much. You know, they don't know logic and reason. Like it took me, I think it's taken me longer to get to a level of full maturity because I won't let go of my inner child. I just won't, I won't let go, like no matter what, because this is what feels good to me. This is what makes my life fun, juicy, enjoyable. I don't care if, you know, a guy thinks I'm crazy or too much or not wifey material. Like, I don't care what happens to me, no matter what, no matter who I talk to. This essence inside of me that I have held on to for so long and said no to certain things that probably would have killed it. I cherish that and I value that about me. And I was just so confused when I meet girls who killed off their inner child somewhere along the way of getting hurt. And some of these women really got hurt. They went through things I could never imagine going through. And that part of them died. And when that girl said that on Facebook, she was like, I would never be that girl again. Like, that's a choice. That's a choice to let go of who you were. And I'm like, wow, like what a big sacrifice. You know, this patriarchal system is not easy navigating as a feminine woman, especially a feminine woman who's in touch with her inner child. Because a lot of people will see that and they long for that part of them that they no longer can connect with. And I mean, they might try to tear you down, feed off of you, whatever. But what am I trying to say? Oh, I think the world would be a better place if more adults did not get rid of their inner child, their inner essence, their inner being. You got to hold on to it no matter what. And I know a lot of people look down on me because they think I'm immature. They think I'm not serious enough as an adult. They think I'm not, I don't know. They just, you know, there's this societal mold around what an adult should be like or how an adult should behave. And that makes perfect sense. You know, that's what separates adults from children, I guess. But I think it's very rigid. I think the world would be a better place, you know, if more adults did have that inner child, inner essence to them. And I hear it at my job. I hear it in women's voices. You can hear in their voices when they don't have that connection to their inner child. Their voice is very flat and it's very deep and it's very like almost demonic. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying this is what women have to do. They did what they thought they had to do, or some do what they had to do because they can't control their inner child. Controlling your inner child is very hard. You have to parent yourself. You have to be your mother and your father. And you have to take control of the little girl pulling you this way, pulling you that way. It's like a wild, rambunctious kid. People say I'm child free, but I'm really not because I have this inner child in me that I parent every single day. I know what it's like to be a parent. Trust me. She's crazy. She's wild. She's rambunctious. But I keep her in check at all times. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so... Oh, so so yeah, I think we can make society a better place if, more adults were allowed to be who they really are instead of trying to fit like a certain type of mold of who society thinks they should be. Now, I mean, I don't know. I know this is like far fetched. It's not something that'll happen overnight, but I don't know. Maybe that's why I live the life I live, because I'm not willing to let go of certain things. But yeah, it takes a lot of strength to navigate in this world, make logical decisions, and still have that inner child essence within you. Because, like I said, it's like controlling a child. You have to be able to nurture this child, redirect this child, explain to them why this should be done instead of that, calm them down when they're upset. And of course, I can see why a lot of women killed off their inner child and decided to shed away that part of them, decided to shed blood and leave them behind. Because, I mean, I can imagine life is much more easier without having your inner child. I mean, at that point, you're just, you know, going along with the patriarch and being able to make more logical decisions, being able to be more savage and cutthroat in your career. But I do think that generates more masculine energy into the world. So you can be classy, you can look the look, you can walk the walk, you can talk the talk, and be poised and graceful. But, I think that that doesn't mean suppressing yourself. I used to think it means like, oh, being quiet, being mysterious. But no, we are women. We are women. It is so important. Forget the men, forget the money, forget the luxury. It is so important for women to know who they are at the end of the day. And being a woman doesn't mean being feminine. It doesn't mean being soft. It doesn't mean, you know, being classy. It doesn't mean being demure. I mean, yes, this is how we get what we want in society. But at the end of the day, we embody everything that is nature: hurricanes, tornadoes, everything that is in the ocean that has yet to be explored. Like, this is all part of the embodiment of who we are as women. So, with that being said, wrapping all of this chaos of who we are as women into this cute little bow of femininity and softness and politeness and demure, it's fun. It's so much fun because it's not even half of what we are. It's only a little bit of what we are. And this is how we get what we want in the patriarchal system, right? So yes, play the game, be socially acceptable, be classy, be smart, be demure. But at the end of the day, when you go home and when you're by yourself, when you're with yourself, you have to know that you are so much more than what you portrayed yourself to be for that evening or on that date, or with whoever you were sitting across from or whoever you presented yourself to out in society. It's so important. It's so important for you to come back home to your essence at the end of the day. And I think this is where I got caught up in the level up, because I took it too far. Like I said, I took her advice literal, and I was trying to be like the softest, cutest, cutest little thing ever. And a lot of people would see right through that. Like, some would even be laughing at me. And and I think it's good to not get rid of yourself. Don't try to emulate somebody else. You have to take bits and pieces of what you like and add that to your own personality, your own essence. I'm not saying you have to show everybody who you are, but you know, you have to mix and match the flavors. Like if you are inspired by Marilyn Monroe, you watch her movie and you try to go out and emulate that, you might look a bit silly because it's not you. You're not Marilyn Monroe. However, you can take, you know, little bits and pieces of who she is. If you like this about her, you like that about her. Oh, you know, that would go good with my personality because I like to smile. I like to laugh. I like to have witty comebacks. But if you're trying to emulate her fully, and that's not even half of who you are, it's not going to work. And so this is what I learned on my level up journey. I have met so many inspiring women and they inspired me, and sometimes I try to emulate parts of them, and I try to like you know, merge my personality with a little bit here, a little bit there. So you have to understand, leveling up is an art. You are an artist. You're not an emulator. You're not a robot who's taken on somebody else's identity. You're not a character of the most feminine, softest, dainty, the more woman you can be. Because when I went out, and I know Cher says, like, you know, the more feminine you are, the more masculine of a man you get. Like, yeah, that might be true, but like, you just can't go out being 100% feminine. Like, that's not gonna work. Like, you gotta keep that savage part of you. Like, you can't be suppressing yourself. You gotta speak when you need to speak. You gotta snap when you need to snap. You have to, you know, retreat when you need to retreat. Like, you have to be, you know, a dynamic woman, a full embodied woman. You can't just be like a mockery of something. And that's what I learned about the level up. And it took me a while to learn that. You know, I did learn that for sure, that some things worked for me, some things weren't working. And I'm still working on not suppressing myself now because, you know, I do fully provide for myself, and it is very exhausting for me. And, you know, guys will try to flirt with me at the end of the day when I get off work. Guys will like call me at the end of the day when I get off work, and I can't even be myself sometimes because I'm so damn tired. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, like, yeah, bye. I'm just like, whatever it takes me to end this conversation because I'm so tired. And, you know, it's in those moments where I forget to express myself. Like, isn't that crazy? I have trained myself to be, I thought I was being like the perfect feminine woman, but women are not these perfect beings. I was training myself to be like the perfect feminine woman, and I ended up suppressing parts of me that I'm still trying to get in touch with, or that I'm too exhausted to even express sometimes. So, you know, I'm still like trying to like be like witty and on my toes. You know, I do process things slowly. That's another thing I do not like about the game, is you have to be a quick thinker. Like, I'm the type, like, my comeback is like 2 days later sometimes. But honestly, there is a part of me that has good witty comebacks and who knows just what to say. And sometimes I cannot find her for the life of me when I'm tired, or when I'm like, I don't know, sometimes I just get lost in the sauce and I just can't find my siren sometimes. It's such a weird thing. It's like, it's almost like a part of me is asleep. It's like dormant, and I just can't always turn her on sometimes. you know, if I was fully provided for, if I didn't have to like take care of everything myself and do that and have more time to rest, then that would probably be easier for me to find, you know, my inner siren, to bring her out and have her play. But a lot of times, you know, the part of me comes forth who just doesn't care, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, okay, whatever. And that's who's running the show right now. The girl who's like, okay, whatever. But I realize that, you know, life is short. We have a limited amount of time in this world, and we need to share with people who we really are. And I just want people to get a taste of me. And I rob people of that all the time. People come to me because they know that they're gonna get, that they know they're gonna be entertained. They know I'm gonna give them the je ne sais quoi. Sometimes people, they come for that. And there were times where I was dismissive, not in a way where I was just like, go away, but in a way where I was just trying to get through the interaction instead of just enjoying it and breathing really deep down into my womb and enjoying that moment. Because I was always like looking for the destination of where I won't have to be so exhausted or do this and that. But that's the challenging part of the level up for me, is enjoying every moment and not just trying to get through the interaction. Like, for example, in college, y'all, I'm so bad with candles. Like, I used to burn candles a lot in my dorm room. And I think somebody came in and did a wellness check, and they saw I left the candle burning. And I've done this before. You leave candles burning, and if it's a good candle with the glass, it won't catch fire. It just goes out, right? But they were like, oh, you left the candle burning. And then they were like, oh, you got to talk to this lady. And then this lady was like, she was like, oh, you're a journalist? She was like, you got to write me a 2-page letter of why you left the candle burning. And I'm like, look, she was fucking with me. Like, I could have had a good time about writing the damn candle. But like, this candle was a sacred part of my tradition. Like, I could have had fun writing that. But instead, I just wrote some like stupid, like boring stuff. I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm sorry. Like, ugh. No, it's blah, it's boring. But I'm really tired right now. But my point is, like, you gotta enjoy the moment. You gotta work and play around with the essence of who you are. You gotta be inspired from different women, but not try to take on a whole nother woman's persona. You got to, you know, choose and pick which layers of yourself you want to shed, what layers of yourself you want to keep. You know, it's your choice. If you don't want to hold on to your inner child, you don't have to. I just think life is so much more fun and vibrant with your inner child. In this patriarchal system, is it more difficult to navigate with your inner child being more in touch with you? Yes, it is, because inner child as little girls are chaotic. And I'm saying, like, you know, there's ways to still hold on to who you are and your full right as a woman, your full embodiment of a woman, while being feminine. I'm not saying you have to get rid of parts of you. You know, just keep it to yourself and share the essence of who you are with who you want. But know that it's always there for you to come back to at the end of the day. Instead of you, you know, waking up 50 years old being like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. You know, people who say they don't know who they are when they're in old age, that's because they killed off parts of them in order to be accepted by society. And you never want to do that. I mean, you can if you want, but that's a big price to pay. For what? For what? Because the most richest thing you have is yourself. Not the man, Not the mansion, not the porch, not the dog, not the damn cat. It's yourself, your essence of who you are. That's the rich energy. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, you guys. Bye.